Good morning. It is Tuesday, September the 10th, 2019, and this is the altcoin season update and a BitMEX trading live market review. I appreciate you guys tuning into the live stream. Be sure to say hello in the chat and let me know where you're from. Before we get into the details, this isn't trading advice, just market observation, so you can pause the video to read through the full disclaimer. Let's go into our main screen here so that the chat is coming up along the side. And we're looking at the price of Bitcoin to start off with. It is at a point where it's going to give us a decision one way or another here. Is it going to break lower from this formation? We have a 1, 2, 3 top and it's right at the very edge of breaking lower. Or are we going to see another hammer reversal right here at this spot? Because we do see a little bit of volume coming in to support that reversal candle, much like we saw the big volume here in the reversal and the volume here in the reversal. And as we keep going back to a longer term chart, we can see that there are hammer reversals all the way along this trend line. And it could be the moment, it's like the only moment now, one of the only moments that Bitcoin could do the hammer reversal and turn around. And as that's happening, a lot of the alts are making potential top formations, and that's what we're going to go over in today's episode. So let's go over to BitMEX, look at ADA, bring it up to the 4-hour time frame, and I want to bring up the indicators underneath now so that we can start to check these out. Hello from Netherlands. Good to have you along. Andrew, good to have you here. Now, let's see. ADA is on an uptrend. It's made its way up pretty nicely, and yet it is now right up against support and resistance from the nearby past. And so I'm keen to watch what the relative strength index is doing throughout this time period. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So we're looking at the 4-hour time frame, and the RSI is kind of diverging. It's not really a strong divergence saying that it's going to pull back sharply from here. But I know that if Bitcoin prices do move up, I'm anticipating the alts are going to be coming down. We can see that we have a crossover on the 4-hour exponential moving average. That's pretty powerful actually for this size of the move. Now we saw the other day as I was live streaming, I got in at 416 and I added on at 422, and then I took profits on this, and it was crazy leverage, so it was a great profit. And I was watching to go short on Bitcoin, anticipating that this would be the top formation. But of course, as it's breaking out of this, that is a buy signal right there. And so I am long in ADA again and watching. If Bitcoin reverses, then ADA is going to pull back and I'm going to have to close that position. And it's very close to that right now. So that's why I'm really watching this top formation to see, where's my parallel channel? Here it is. To see where this parallel channel runs out and when do we have a top formation at the end of it. Because this is our bottom formation, gave us the signal. Now we're done with that. We're really watching to see where's the top formation. And should we get the top formation, it's not all is lost for sure. In fact, we're getting into the nitro levels where it's going to be really gold. If we have this pull back into these levels, it's going to give us a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on the 12-hour time frame, which is going to be really powerful. As this breaks out above these levels, it will be something spectacular. So we're really keen to watch what's going on in this right now. Let's go on to the next indicator, because the on-balance volume has kicked in 2 good waves as we moved up and moved up again. So that supports that it may hold itself here above these levels and create some support, or maybe come down to these levels and create some support. We'll see what's going on as this unfolds. Right now, it's not certain. It's not giving me a strong signal either way. Let's zoom in and see if we get something. Because we have a number 1 point and it's come back and it's staying above this support and resistance, it's not a sell signal yet. But I'm watching for that to manifest. And of course, I already know what my sell signal will look like. It's going to be breaking out of this parallel channel, making a 1, 2, 3 top formation. And as it breaks below that 1, 2, 3 top formation, it's going to cut through this technical level, and that will be a sell signal, or at least an exit of the long right here, depending on how you've been playing this as we unfolded from that formation there 2 or 3 days ago. So that is the detail here on the on-balance volume. Still looking pretty good for ADA. Now let's go on to the MACD indicator. The MACD was giving us a really nice divergence the other day. This was great that we saw the lower lows and this diverged to be strong. It was really supporting that this was a breakout, even though it was such a tiny little 1, 2, 3 formation on this time scale. Let's zoom into the 1 hour time frame to see what's going on, because this is crossing and easing off. It is flattening out here, and it should be continuing to cross and cross positive if we're going to continue going up. We should see this continuing to cross and cross positive from here. It's got a long ways this can still keep going up if we're going to continue, and we're going to blast up from these levels past all of this. Then we're probably going to be stopping at the next support and resistance level, which would be 552, 549-ish. Once we pull back to here and set up this longer formation, that's definitely a target that we're setting up for. Let's go back to the 4 hour, and I'm going to go into the next indicator. Oh, we've got 2 of these. Let's go to the Ichimoku cloud. You're saying it in your mind, and I'm trying to get it out of mind too. So here we finally have this breaking out into a buy signal, even though it broke out higher here. Let's zoom into the 1 hour time frame. We had the buy signal here. It's not telling us to ease off. It's not saying that this is making a top formation yet. And yet, if it does, and we do come back to these levels, the Ichimoku cloud is probably going to confirm that this is a sell signal at that time. Right now, we're still buy and hesitating. We're still in a buy signal. We're above the cloud. The cloud is twisted green. Everything is good to be holding this right now. It's not telling us to ease off on this yet. So let's see. Let's go over to, if Litecoin goes down to that level, do I sell it? Let's skip ahead to Litecoin. I have short attention span. Let's go and do it. Litecoin on the 12-hour time frame. So we can see that the RSI is still decidedly stronger, as that we're having a turnaround in this. In the 12-hour time frame, that is quite a bullish turnaround. So we're setting up structure here for the turnaround formation for sure. This is where deciding how long you're going to hold a trade is the most important thing. What is your exit criteria? Are you just going to jump in and out like I did in ADA? And it would have been better if I had done nothing. Would have certainly been better if I had done nothing. So here's the 1, 2, 3 formation. It's breaking out higher. If you got in long there and you've got your stop above your entry, I would recommend sitting. If you're using too high of leverage for your account, then you're gambling, and I recommend that you change your leverage down to super low for a while. And don't try to get rich quick. Try to think of this as a super long-term thing, that if this is turning around, you just want to sit and do nothing. You just want to hold it, and it's going to go up and up and up and up and up. So we'll talk about that as we unfold. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. The RSI has moved up pretty good to overbought territory. It hasn't been this overbought all the way along this little wee chart. It doesn't really help that much, but that we're coming to a potential top. It's the same reading for me as in ADA, pretty much, that it's still above these levels. I don't want to get out now. I want it to finish a top formation and break down lower. And if it does break down lower, I'm watching for the bottom formation to shape up. If it's going to break down lower, we should see this RSI break. It should break this line right here in the RSI. If it's breaking lower, that will happen. We'll start extending down below these levels. And it doesn't mean it's going to be turning around yet, because we're not really going down every time until we're breaking below this RSI level. And so it could really come back to this RSI level and bounce up and still stay within this top formation and not break down lower. So glad to sort of chalk that out. Now let's move into the 1-hour time frame, because we are seeing a divergence here. We are seeing bullish movement, higher highs and lower highs in the RSI. And that is a bearish divergence that would support there being a top formation. And we're also seeing a couple exhaustion wicks up at the top here. Usually those are accompanied with a pullback, but if Bitcoin drops back, no sir, this is going to moon from here. And then we're going to call this the downtrend before the flick up, the downtrend before the move up, the downtrend in the RSI before the move up. There's always this downtrend in the RSI before it breaks that downtrend, and then we get a move up, downtrend, and then poof, it moves up. So there's still no definitive answer. It's got to finish that 1, 2, 3 formation there. And that's just the RSI. On balance volume for Litecoin, then we'll go back to the others. I like this. It's got some good buying going on here. It certainly could come back and retest these levels. That would be actually good. So it depends on your leverage and when you got in and all those variables, but have small enough leverage so that your account can handle a swing of this size. The thing is to trade small enough that you can give the market room. And in my upcoming BitMEX tutorial, it's going to be on Amazon Kindle as well as available on YouTube. I go through the details of how to do this on the BitMEX tutorial. Lost my train of thought there. Let's zoom in. 4-hour time frame, 1-hour time frame. Okay, I didn't see the 4-hour time frame. I thought I was on the 4-hour time frame. Still really great volume here. All right, in the BitMEX tutorial, I'm going to go over how to change your position sizes to fit the amount of money you have. Rather than overtrading or trading with too much leverage and gambling, there's a way to do this so that you are sitting more and your money is working for you more rather than you working for your money. Let's move into the 4-hour time frame of the MACD, also easing off here. And the same story as in ADA, where I'm expecting this will cross to the positive and cross to the positive as we're going on an uptrend. And again, it really could come back to these levels. Let's zoom into the 1-hour time frame on the MACD to see that we can clear this off. We have the uptrend. This pulled back and then broke that downtrend here for a bullish signal. Right after this was looking like a top formation, this crossed over and gave us bullish. So I'll be watching this. It's crossed to the negative right now. A little cross to the negative, but we're still above this 1, 2, 3 formation. If this continues to cross negative as we're breaking these levels, that is indicating we're probably going to come back and retest the middle levels. Let's put this back to the 4-hour time frame and then go to the Ichimoku and look at the 4-hour time frame. It is just giving us a buy signal. Just turned into a buy signal as it broke out above these levels. And we have a positive confirmation here, here, and here. So this chart will give it all the way back to here without a worry. And it'll stay a buy signal after having broke out above there. Of course, the 4-hour time frame goes above and below the cloud all the way along. It's not the best indicator, not the most definitive. So we have to watch for the break of this uptrend line, a break of this uptrend line all the way along in these indicators. Same things, the indicator just helps us. Move into the 1-hour time frame. This is also, I was expecting it to be a buy signal earlier. Now it's bounced off the cloud, so it's a buy signal in an uptrend and still looking great. You know, still would give us lots of room in this before it's giving us any negative signal. Again, the 1, 2, 3 formation is going to be the key, and the indicators are all telling us that, matching it up, which is awesome. Now let's go back and finish the other coins. EOS did a surprising move to me. When this was setting up here, this was making brand new lows. As it broke down below these levels, it went into my bad book chart. So it's making brand new number 1 point. I'm waiting for a larger 1, 2, 3 before I'm ready to go, and it blasted off. So it took way off and it's gone up above these levels, and for it to make structure here and hold here is phenomenal But it wouldn't be crazy at all for this to come back and retest these levels and then be breaking higher. Not crazy at all. The great thing though to see is that we have this hovering sideways and the RSI is really pulled back. That normally I would say this is a bearish divergence. Look at this. We've got a flat top and we've got the RSI pulling back. But I've noticed much more often now that this pullback is right before the takeoff. So long as the RSI doesn't break below these levels where it is downtrending from there, downtrending, then we're okay. Right at this level actually is really gearing up for a much bigger breakout from these levels. Now that we've established ourselves above this, this changes the tone of it. Still not finished, could come back, but really nice to see this setup here. Let's see what the other indicators are telling us. Hey DJ Beats, good to have you here from Latvia. And hopefully that helped you out on Litecoin Trator. And Andrew. There we go. Let's clear this off and go into the next indicator for EOS, looking at the 4-hour time frame. It does have a big red candle there, but I like this volume coming up and higher as we're going along too. It would just be a sort of breathing in and breathing out for the market to come back for these levels. Not surprising at all. Just got to keep an eye on what Bitcoin is doing in the background. Let's zoom in on this one time. So this does sort of give me the feel that it's running out of steam as we're running up here. It's gone up really well, but now we don't have the buying volume holding it there. Let's see how this turns out tomorrow, because this is such a clear chart, such a clear technical level that if it comes back to these levels, that is Nitro City for sure. Let's go in. I'm going to put this back to the 4-hour time frame, and then we'll go to EOS on the 4-hour time frame. It is also coming up to a cross to the negative. So more and more evidence that this may be pulling back to these levels as we're zooming in here. Go into the 1-hour time frame to see that this has crossed to the negative as we're going up. So there's a bearish divergence and it's holding itself there. That it has come down to these levels is great, because now if it crosses positive, it's going to be matching a breakout here. And so we've got sort of like the springboard building up, where this is staying flat and the springboard is building tension and momentum. As it springs, prices blast. And that will make the 4-hour cross stronger as it's going up here. We can still have a lot more detail coming into the 4-hour. It can go up a lot more from where it's taken off from. And it may pull back. It really looks like it'll pull back and then take off. Let's go into EOS on the 4-hour time frame. Of course, this tells us clearly that it was a buy signal as it broke halfway along. So even though it had the tiny little 1, 2, 3, the 4-hour didn't give us the buy signal till quite a bit later. And I wouldn't have taken this buy signal because it had already broken out so much relatively from the price that I don't want to jump in on something that's already moving. Even though it could take off and go much higher, I don't normally jump in on something, a big candle like that. Let's zoom into the 1-hour time frame to see how this is crossing slightly to the negative. We're coming into a sideways action. The cloud has not twisted yet. So if it comes back into the cloud and then breaks above, it's going to be a good buy signal. And this is what I'm expecting for this market, is a bit of a pullback from here, consolidation, and then the next wave. Let's go on to Ethereum and see what it's saying on the 4-hour time frame. Much of the same looking chart as EOS, and it's something that I didn't act on yesterday either, or 2 days ago, because it was at this new number 1 point. Even though it was making a tiny little 1, 2, 3 bottom and looking great as it was coming out of this spot, I wanted to have more development in this bottom formation. So now I have the chance for that. We have the RSI going flat and the price is going up. Let's see what we say on the shorter time frame. Get the right button. It is a divergence, but I'm still not convinced that it's a bearish divergence. This could be a divergence of a preparation for another big move up. All of it depending on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is moving up, these alts will pull back for sure. Let's move on now. and do the next indicator on Ethereum, looking at the 4-hour time frame, it's got some good volume coming up. Let's zoom into the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, we do see the same thing as we saw in EOS, a little bit stronger actually, is that we have strong volume here and then it petered out all the way through this run up. There wasn't a strong volume, actually some selling overall going on here. So like EOS and ADA, more so EOS and Litecoin, we're watching for this to be a top formation and a pullback from there, or a continuation. So if we see the volume come in as this is breaking up, we know it's on its way up further. But I am expecting it to come back halfway. That'll give me my 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that I was looking for earlier. Let's go into the Ethereum 4-hour time frame for the MACD. Much the same looking chart where it's easing off and threatening to cross on the 4-hour time frame. And if we go into the 1-hour time frame, it's already crossed, but that it's done that pullback, that it could be ready to cross positive and sail up much higher from here. All based on this parallel channel, the 1, 2, 3 top formation, and what Bitcoin is doing in the background still. Let's go on to Ethereum in the 4-hour time frame for the Ichimoku cloud. It did not give us the sell or the buy signal as early, and it's another one I wouldn't have taken as an action right here. It's already moved up too much. I needed to pull back and give me another little 1, 2, 3. In the 1-hour time frame, it is giving us, it's still all positive. This is still positive. The blue line is above the red. We're still above the cloud. It's all still good. Even if we come back and touch the cloud, it still could be a buy signal and an uptrend. It's not until it pokes through the cloud on the other side. But by the time it's poked through the cloud on the other side, we're going to have broken our 1, 2, 3 top formation. So that's the main thing we're watching for. Break of this trend line, break of the 1, 2, 3 formation. Those are a couple action points. So we finished ADA, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin. Let's go on to Tron on the 12-hour. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. Another one that bounced up and is not given very much structure for a trade. I was fortunate that I did get into a trade here earlier, and it was at crazy leverage. I made some phenomenal profits, and now I'm watching to see what goes on. And the RSI is not helping me. There again, this is that, what I would have said, oh, there's our bearish divergence in the RSI. And so many observations over time have shown that this isn't always a bearish divergence on this time frame. This is often a gathering point, a spring building point. All of it's dependent on Bitcoin in the background there. So again, we're watching that like a hawk. Let's clear this off and move into the next indicator for Tron on the 4-hour time frame. Lots of good buying. When we zoom into the 1-hour time frame, very similar, where we have good strong buying at the beginning and it's eased off, where we have a trickle of buying here at least. And we'll have to watch for this buying to pick up at the same time that we're breaking out from this trend line. Then we can go on to Tron 4-hour time frame, MACD, looking so much the same. It isn't as near as crossing as the other ones, but certainly if it crosses, it could be where we're pulling back. Let's zoom into the 1-hour time frame. So we have the cross in the 1-hour time frame earlier, and it's been pulling back and pulling back. For me, this looks like it's gathering energy in all of these. And there's no guarantee, of course. It's just observing it right now, trying to guess what to expect out of this sharp formation that they're all making at the same time. And we have the ranges. We have the 1, 2, 3 top formation, a little bit lower here for the confirmation it's coming down, and using just the basic 50% Fibonacci rule, I would be watching for all of these to come back and make formations in this area. So for me, that would be the cat's ass, actually. If it was to do that, it would give us such a wicked trend channel to be sticking the prices into. They follow these trends. Once it gets into a channel, it just follows it. I don't know. It seems like somebody's pre-written it already in a boardroom, and it's just going to play out now in the charts. That may not be true. We'll have to see how this goes, because if this curves up and we're breaking out, there's like hold whatever you've got and maybe even add on. Not an add-on point yet. It wouldn't be an add-on point on a breakout like this. It's not an add-on point until we have done a breakout enough that it's come back and done a retest. This is the only place that there's an add-on, and it could be a month away. It could be a couple weeks away. It could be when it comes back here and gives us the formation, then we may get our add-on to the trade. If we were lucky enough to get in this tiny little bottom formation, that would make sense for the add-on. So let's see how that plays out. What are we looking at now? We are Tron 4-hour time frame, just barely breaking through the cloud now. This is positive. This is positive, positive, positive. All of that stuff right there. So even if it pulls back to these levels in the cloud and our pullback happens, it's going to be even better setup. Phenomenal. Let's go into the 1-hour time frame just to see if this is losing steam and coming up against the cloud. All of them so far are above the cloud and giving us the potential. Maybe through the day later, if this is breaking lower, I may jump in to do another live stream and capture it. Depends how far along I am on finishing that BitMEX tutorial. I want to get that out and published. So now let's go on to Ripple and run. That'll be our running through the 6th. This looks strong. Looks like it's going to be breaking out, but Bitcoin's got a little tick positive in the background there too. Now let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Our base, the RSI didn't get to super overbought territories yet. It didn't go up to where it's topped out before. So it could still go up more. Check out this trend line. A break above these levels would be positive. Now let's zoom into the 1-hour time frame and take a look at that chart. And what I'm looking for here is that evidence of the downtrend in the RSI breaking higher. At the same time that the prices are breaking out of this 1, 2, 3, if this is pulled back and then it's breaking higher while we're going up here, this really starts to confirm this pattern all over the place. All over the place. When it pulls back, sometimes it's not a divergence that's bearish. It is a build-up to a bullish spring. So let's see how that plays out. It's looking like the bullish spring pullback. Let's go into Ripple on balance volume, 4-hour time frame. Not as meaty as the other ones in the 4-hour time frame. This really shows it in the 4-hour time frame that it's pulled back. If we go into the 1-hour, so we had the more volume here, less volume here, but it's not quite as drastic as the others in the comparison here. It's not quite as diverging, where the others didn't show this little bit of volume on the far corner. So Ripple's looking pretty good. Ripple 4-hour MACD, it crossed and touched, and look at that, it bounced off. So the other ones are not showing this yet. They're showing that they're coming up almost across. And so if this is an example of what's to come, then the others are looking even better. Let's go into the 1-hour time frame for this. Clear this off. And we do have flat top, pull back, cross to the positive as we're breaking out. All of the things were just pointed out on the others to see if they are doing this, we're in good stead. Let's jump into the Ichimoku cloud now for this. And then we'll go into Bitcoin dominance. We'll take a look at the other altcoins and we'll call her a day unless you guys have anything that you would like me to take a look at. Cross to the negative. It hasn't come through. What is this? The 4-hour time frame for Ripple. Well, most of the other ones had popped through the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud as a buy signal earlier, and Ripple hasn't. What's going on? The 1-hour it has. It's broken up above, and it is staging and holding here and actually giving us that buy signal in an uptrend. We're getting this conversion line to cross above the baseline. We're getting a retwist to the positive. If we break above this formation, it's going to be a confirmed buy signal right there. And it's not my favorite buy signal. Again, I want it to come back and give me a 1, 2, 3. But I will take a ascending wedge channel breakout as well. We'll watch how that plans out. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin dominance. it has broken this long uptrend that we've been in since April, the first week of April. It made this bottom, and we've been in a trend where the alts have been crushed all the way since then, all the way through April, all the way through May, and through June, all the way through July, all the way through August, part way through September. Finally, the alts are getting a little bit of relief. This doesn't bring us at all up to where our bag holder status has us, but I'm watching now to see what does this do. If it continues to break down, all good for the alts. But again, I am wanting this retest. I want this 1, 2, 3 formation to build up because it just gives us so much more strength. Now finally, let's take a look at our big four. Bitcoin does look softer. Litecoin does look stronger. All of these look like they're ascending wedges ready to break out higher, and I wouldn't bet on it myself. I'm still seeing the 1, 2, 3 top formations. Even though it looks so great, Bitcoin is right at the edge of blasting off. It is a killer moment. So be ready. If these are breaking higher, be ready for that. If Bitcoin is starting to break lower from these levels, I think it's got a significant down move on the way. Let's zoom back into ADA 1-day chart. Really could be taking off, but Bitcoin in the background is the big question. All right, so that does it. Let's see, 31 minutes, and I just went through all the big 6 alts. I didn't go through any of the other alts. I didn't take a look at what's going on Binance. I didn't go through our September Patreon bull market watch cover yet, but look at the difference here. We can see that the near fails, the fails have dropped right off. The near fails have dropped way back. The neutral coins have popped way up, but we haven't yet seen a big uptick in alert status and hold status coins. So those are coming right away. Let's get in there and jump into this spreadsheet. If you are a patron subscriber or an alert subscriber, I recommend that you open this spreadsheet and stay in this spreadsheet. Keep it open and go and check out the video on how to go and get the short list of the best coins that we have in this spreadsheet, and you'll see where to go and find that detail. That wraps it up for now, and I will be pushing out my ultimate BitMEX tutorial soon. I know that this table of contents is going to change and expand. I've got a few examples I want to put in here. And so I encourage you to watch for that. Be sure to head over to the website if you haven't already and put your email address in. You'll have received a free webinar with our complete trading system so that these live streams make more sense to you and we know what we're talking about for these BitMEX markets. This is the ideal starting point if you're just learning about technical analysis for beginning traders. And this new ultimate BitMEX tutorial will be sent out to everybody on the email list first. You'll have first access to everything. Thanks again for tuning in. I will sign off for now and wish you all the best in your altcoin trading. Cheers. Bye for now.